Welcome back to Peerless Martial God. Enjoy. Chapter 10. Life or Death Arena. Looking at Lin Feng as if he was an unreachable hero, Han Man grinned. We're like brothers. You killed Jing Feng. We would not have had the conviction to act. We will all share the responsibility for it. People may call me many things, but no one has ever called me a coward. He had easily grasped the real reason why Lin Feng had killed Jing Feng. He had done everything with his own hands as he didn't want to get them involved in any future trouble. Han Man felt true admiration for Lin Feng. Lin Feng's heart was true and his kind actions made his pure intentions easily seen through. Exactly, if there are consequences then we can share the burden together. Besides, Yunhai sect's disciples are not permitted to kill each other, so we are safe within the sect. Even if Jing Hao was suspicious that we had killed Jing Feng, he could not retaliate, Qing Yi determined. Do not forget about me, I am also with Lin Feng until the end, said Jing Yun blushing. Her smile was particularly beautiful at this moment. Alright, said Lin Feng happy to have made such good friends. Qing Yi was right. Even though the Yunhai sect didn't mind things happening outside of the sect, they had still imposed strict restrictions within the sect in order to stop anyone causing any problems. Lin Feng crouched down and started searching Jing Feng's body looking for the things he had been carrying. He took out a book. It was a skill book. Roaring Thunder. Sword Skill. Lin Feng opened the skill book while whispering the name of the skill. Roaring Thunder was a yellow level skill. If the skill was mastered to perfection, each hit would look like a lightning strike followed by an explosive roar of thunder. The roar would travel in the trajectory of the sword with tremendous destructive power. Roaring Thunder is a sword skill from the Xing Chen Pavilion. Jing Feng's two brothers had recommended this to practice. It is a powerful skill but is particularly hard to learn and master to the point where you can always make roars of thunder appear. I also practiced that skill but I failed to grasp its concept. My power when using it is limited, explained Qing Yi. Qing Yi was training to become a sword cultivator, therefore he had read many of the sword skill books previously. Lin Feng simply nodded. He had only been practicing 3 skills, 9 heavy waves as both an offensive and a defensive technique, the indispensable movement technique Moonlight Feather Agility and Sword Unsheathing which enabled him to swiftly strike with monstrous killing power. If he practiced Roaring Thunder, he could combine it harmoniously with 9 heavy waves and at the same time achieve a new power which could possibly overcome the Sword Unsheathing skill. Are we going back now? Jing Yun asked Lin Feng. These days, they all considered Lin Feng as the leader of the group. Since we're already here, why hurry back? Wouldn't it be better to look for more ferocious beasts to hunt? Said Lin Feng who didn't want to go back to the sect early. In the Black Wind Mountain, he could get battle experience and practice the Roaring Thunder skill at the same time. Wasn't it much better this way? The others didn't have anything to fear by staying. Lin Feng was there with them, provided they didn't run into extremely strong ferocious beasts, they wouldn't be in any danger especially now that Lin Feng had shown his true power. There was no need to hurry back to the sect. If we could get some profound pills in exchange for the materials we have collected, that'd be good, said Jing Yun looking forward to harvesting more ferocious beasts. A profound pill was a pill which helped improve a cultivator's training and enabled them to reach higher chi layers. It was an extremely useful item for cultivators. However, it required killing lots of ferocious beasts in order to get a single profound pill. Items which were tradable for a profound pill could only be found in higher level ferocious beasts making it extremely dangerous. Lin Feng's eyes were shining. He remembered how useful a single profound pill could be to lower level disciples. Even though he was able to defeat level 8 ferocious beasts with little effort, he was still at the 7th chi layer which was still only an average level within the disciples. If he could reach the next chi layer, he maybe wouldn't have to rely on the sword unsheathing skill anymore and would be able to defeat a cultivator who had already reached the 9th chi layer. 5 days later, in the middle of the thick and dense forest, powerful roars were heard from Lin Feng's sword. Small explosive sounds were crackling in the air all around. The sounds produced by the sword still made Jing Yun jump from fright. Boom, boom. Trees were splintering and bursting apart from contact with the thunderous roars. Lin Feng was using his sword so gracefully and elegantly that it seemed like the sword was dancing in the air. You would not be able to tell from a glance that his sword held such a terrifying power. Being able to use the Roaring Thunder skill like this after 5 days, he really is a monster, said Qing Yi while making a wry smile and observing from a safe distance. He had also practiced sword skills and had already practiced the Roaring Thunder sword skill. He knew how difficult it was to use. Lin Feng had been practicing for 5 days and every single hit produced a loud explosive sound. That was an astonishing achievement. Qing Yi's heart was feeling heavy watching this. Don't compare yourself with Lin Feng. He is using a clouded leopard as part of his training, said Han Man with both hands crossed over his chest while looking at the fight between Lin Feng and the clouded leopard. What made Lin Feng so terrifying is that he could have killed the ferocious beast at any time, but instead was using it for training. He was so quick at using the sword that it seemed like an invisible wall appeared in front of him, blocking anything which approached. Even if the clouded leopard was extremely quick, there was no way it could match Lin Feng's speed. Ha! Shouted Lin Feng cheerfully while stabbing the clouded leopard in the head causing its head to rumble then violently explode into pieces. Lin Feng sheathed his sword with a smile. He was extremely satisfied with the roaring thunder skill. The skill had reached a level now where it made the roaring sound with each strike. If Lin Feng managed to perfectly master the skill, it would be even stronger than 9 heavy waves. Its biggest advantage was that it was an attack of pure oppressive force. Lin Feng's face looked delicate and his facial features gave a handsome yet gentle feeling. In comparison with what he looked like in his previous life, he looked more refined. Han Man started picking up the precious items from the corpse of the leopard while mumbling that his original intention was to come to improve his own skills, hunt and kill some ferocious beasts, but now he was just collecting the precious items Lin Feng had left behind. He was not unhappy though, as he was benefiting a lot from watching Lin Feng fight against level 7 and 8 ferocious beasts. Han Man, how many profound pills can we get in exchange of the materials we collected from the beasts? Lin Feng asked. 13 at least, said Han Man, whose eyes were filled with excitement. They hadn't imagined that they would collect so many items. That was all thanks to Lin Feng. If Lin Feng hadn't been there, then it would have been difficult to kill level 7 ferocious beasts. Very good, we can each have 3 profound pills. We can exchange the other materials for useful items or weapon. Now, we can go back to the sect and enjoy our hard work. Profound pellets were a very efficient way to increase a person's power on the path of cultivation. Pills were most effective the first 3 times. After each pill the qi within the body would begin to show resistance. The first pill would cause the body to overflow with qi and the probability to reach the next qi layer would be extremely high. Each following pill the effect would greatly decrease, and after the third the pill effects would be minimal. 3 profound pills. Han Man and the others were all extremely happy. There were many pills to choose from and they would have the opportunity to cultivate to the 8th qi layer with the help of pills. Within the Yunhai sect, the lowest cultivators are at the 5th qi layer. Disciples who had reached the 7th qi layer were also considered average. Only those who had reached the 8th qi layer received the full benefits from the sect. During those days with Lin Feng they had started to understand his personality and how he acted. He was determined on his path of cultivation and had an incredible godlike aura which radiated from him at all times. Let's go back, said Lin Feng. The first thing they did after returning to the sect was go and exchange their precious items for 12 profound pills, which each of them were given 3. Lin Feng also exchanged some extra materials for a long sword. Han Man got himself a new axe. Qing Yi exchanged items for 2 earth profound pills which would strengthen one's basics on the foundation of cultivation. Qing Yi was finally aware that the foundation of his cultivation was not strong enough. What Jing Yun exchanged with her items somewhat surprised Lin Feng: beauty pills. These profound pills were used to make a woman more attractive and beautiful. If an evil woman used beauty pills, they would not have a great effect as it would reflect the nature of their qi essence. Jing Yun, however, was a very pure and innocent girl and it would have an increased effect on her beauty. Lin Feng didn't understand why she had chosen beauty pills as she was already incredibly beautiful to him. Why are you looking at me that way? Jing Yun asked Lin Feng, who could not stop staring at her. She couldn't help but blush and look away. Nothing, it's just that you're already very beautiful. I do not feel you should change in any way, said Lin Feng, who suddenly looked very embarrassed before starting to laugh awkwardly. Since Jing Yun had chosen the beauty pill, who was he to intervene? Lin Feng, do you plan to go back? Han Man asked Lin Feng. He was thinking that if they had the opportunity, Lin Feng and he could go back to Black Wind Mountain together and collect even more materials. Let's practice and improve our skills first. I think being at the 7th qi layer is still too low within the sect, said Lin Feng. It was indeed only enough to be considered average by others. Indeed, we all need to improve our skills as cultivators. Lin Feng, considering your current strength, you can go anywhere to practice. I don't think anyone would stop you, said Han Man, shaking his head. He then recommended a distant place where there was an immense canyon. It was Yunhan sect's most famous place, Stormy Gorge. The Yunhai sect was surrounded by 8 extremely high mountain peaks. In the middle of the Yunhai sect's mountain peaks was the Stormy Gorge, which had a deepest point of a few hundred meters. It covered extremely vast area and was divided into several areas like an underground city. The gorge was vast and many different landscapes could be seen within. If you entered it, maybe you'd end up in the middle of a forest or possibly a desert oasis. Provided they didn't enter the gorge looking for people to fight, no matter what their level, the Yunhai sect would encourage its disciples to go and gather near-death experiences. Only the strongest of disciples would enter the Stormy Gorge. Being weak and still entering would just lead to certain death. Therefore Yunhai sect's disciples who hadn't at least reached the 8th qi layer wouldn't dare go to the Stormy Gorge. Besides, there was another place deep inside the Stormy Gorge called the Life or Death Arena. Provided a disciple voluntarily set a foot into the Life or Death Arena, they could fight to the death over a grudge, and if they accidentally got killed, the Yunhai sect would not get involved. While direct killing was not allowed here, once beaten within an inch of their life it was near impossible to return safely. Some people would even secretly kill wounded disciples as they attempted to return to the sect. If you had enough power, you could even publicly kill another disciple and the sect would turn a blind eye. The people who would enter the Life or Death Arena had their family members or best friends killed and were unable to live without getting revenge. Of course I will go, said Lin Feng, looking towards the area where the Stormy Gorge was located. Observing a crowd of people on the horizon heading towards the gorge, his expression changed greatly as he remembered the past. If it had been when Lin Feng had only reached the 5th Qi layer and people still could call him a piece of trash, he would have had no choice but to watch the fighting in the Stormy Gorge from a distance while avoiding all other disciples. This is of course how he was tricked. End of chapter 10. Hope you guys enjoy the chapter. Please consider subscribing and hit that bell button for future updates.